Typhoon Wutip, the first typhoon of 2025, struck Xinyi City in South China's Guangdong province on the evening of June 14th, triggering heavy precipitation across the city's Guizi Town. Xinyi is located northeast of Guangdong City, where Typhoon Wutip made its second landfall at 12:30 a.m. on June 14th. At 4 a.m. on June 15th, a landslide triggered by continuous heavy rainfall from Typhoon Wutip occurred in Xinyi's Liana village. Thanks to early warnings and timely evacuations, all 57 residents from 25 households were safely relocated, preventing potential casualties. At 5 p.m. on June 13th, the Maoming Natural Resources Bureau and Maoming Meteorological Bureau had jointly issued a Level 2 geological disaster risk warning for Xinyi. Upon the warning's release, the Geological Disaster Monitoring Center of Maoming Natural Resources Bureau immediately alerted the Maoming Emergency Management Bureau, Xinyi Municipal Government, and Xinyi Natural Resources Bureau through emergency calls. Facing severe weather risks, municipal and county authorities swiftly mobilized resources, conducting comprehensive risk inspections using detailed hazard prevention maps, including the one map per town and one map, one table per village systems. During a midnight patrol on June 15th, inspectors detected abnormal slope movements and reported the imminent landslide threat to local officials. The government acted promptly, evacuating all 57 villagers before the landslide occurred at 4 a.m. No casualties were reported. Following the incident, Maoming and Xinyi authorities activated emergency protocols, sealing off the affected area with warning barriers and deploying patrols to restrict access. The Maoming Natural Resources Bureau dispatched a team for on-site assessment. Many reservoirs opened their gates to release floodwaters, causing rivers to surge. On Sunday, June 15th, many towns in Guangdong and Guangxi were flooded, causing heavy losses. Lin Na, a farmer in Xinguang Town, Yingde City, Xinguang City, Guangdong Province, revealed that the typhoon brought heavy rains, and the Falai Gorge in Xinguang City released floodwaters. Since the 15th, many towns in Yangshan County and Yingde City have been flooded. In the early morning of the 16th, the entire Xinguang town did not sleep all night, and the townspeople rushed to move their belongings and evacuate to higher ground. Last year, many shops were flooded to a depth of 2 meters, and they have not recovered yet, and now they are suffering from floods again. The river water rose very fast, dozens of meters high, and only the roofs were left on the opposite side. Last night, the entire Xinguang was evacuated, and classes were suspended here. The water was more than 1 meter deep, which was taller than a person. The farmland was submerged in water, and the rice could not be seen. The corn harvest is almost ready, and the loss is still very large. Every year, there are floods here because of the opening of the sluice gates in Falai Gorge, and we are helpless. Huaiji County, Zhaoqing City, Guangdong Province is located at the transportation hub of Guangdong, Guangxi, and Hunan provinces. Due to flood discharge from upstream, the shops along the river in Huaiqing Town under its jurisdiction were flooded on the afternoon of the 15th. In addition, heavy rain on the morning of the 16th caused many sections of the road to be flooded, and travel by people and vehicles was blocked. The flood came too fast and too suddenly. I couldn't see the road. It was just a vast ocean. The flood was so severe that the water came in directly. All the shops were flooded. We were soaked because of the heavy rain from upstream. The waterlogging was so serious that all the cars and electric vehicles were soaked. Luoding City, a county-level city under the jurisdiction of Yunfu City, Guangdong Province, had a large number of houses, cars, and farmland soaked in water. On the 15th, Xinyi Town was flooded to the second floor. Local residents are worried that the weather forecast will rain again in the next week, and the Xinyi Reservoir will continue to release water. The upstream water release basically soaked many places. At the peak of the water rise, it was so severe. Many stores suffered heavy losses. The water level was really high. There was also a lot of rainfall. The Xinyi water release should be even more serious. The road between the riverbanks has turned into a river. The whole street is like this. Outside the guardrail is the Xinguang River. The water is still very large and fierce. All the gates of the power station have released water because there is too much water and it is too fast. The water has soaked the houses. Heavy rains brought by Typhoon Wutip have caused flooding that left 9 people dead and 2 missing, inundated tens of thousands of hectares of crops, and disrupted transportation across central Vietnam. Torrential downpours have hit provinces from Quang Binh to Quang Nam since Wednesday. By Saturday afternoon, floodwaters began to recede, but the damage remained severe. Authorities reported 9 deaths in Hue, Quang Tri, and Quang Binh, with 2 other people still missing in Quang Binh. The death toll has risen by 4 since the previous day. Among the victims were Lu Phuc Thuong, 26, and Lu Phuc Trinh, 48, whose bodies were found on Saturday near the site of a capsized boat in Phuong Binh Commune in Hue. The 2 had been rowing with another man, Lu Phuc Thuong, to build a family tomb when strong currents overturned their boat. Thuong survived. Phuong Binh Commune in Hue is one of the hardest hit areas. Authorities reported damage to over 670 hectares of rice, 30 hectares of cassava, 1.5 hectares of peanuts, and 3.5 hectares of lotus. Region-wide, more than 3,500 homes were flooded and approximately 88,000 hectares of crops were submerged. Over 20 flights at Da Nang Airport were delayed or canceled on Thursday. A beauty pageant final scheduled for Saturday on the Hung River was also postponed due to weather conditions. Typhoon Wutip weakened into a tropical depression late on Saturday after making landfall in China's Guangdong province. It continued moving inland toward the northeast and gradually dissipated. Heavy rainfall and widespread flooding have inundated 70,643 hectares of rice fields and crops, with the most extensive damage recorded in Quang Tri, 25,110 hectares, Thua Tien Hue, 23,649 hectares, and Quang Binh, 21,254 hectares. Ha Tin reported 630 hectares affected. The aquaculture sector has also suffered significant losses, with 2,259 hectares of fish and shrimp farms damaged or swept away. Quang Binh was the hardest hit with 1,553 hectares lost, followed by Quang Tri, 624 hectares, Quang Nam, 49 hectares, and Da Nang, 33 hectares. Authorities in Quang Binh reported 2 flooded sections along Provincial Road 562 at km 17. In Quang Tri, 2 stretches of National Highway 49C, from km 33 plus 00 to km 35 plus 490, and from km 37 plus 050 to km 41 plus 076, remain submerged under floodwaters. Local officials have visited the families of the deceased to offer condolences, while search and rescue operations continue for the missing. Emergency response teams have been mobilized to help residents mitigate the storm's impact and resume daily life and agricultural production. With weather conditions expected to remain unpredictable, the department urged coastal provinces and cities from Quang Ninh to Quang Nai, as well as Kon Tum and Gia Lai, to stay on high alert and enforce preventive measures. Provinces have also been instructed to monitor and guide fishing vessels to safe anchorage or direct them away from danger zones, and to ensure safety at docking sites.